What's up, guys? We are back. After 9 months off, we're almost 2 years into the YouTube journey. I started uploading around March 30th of 2020 was the very first time I uploaded, and then regularly started uploading shortly after that. I honestly fell out of love with it. I was just making content in order to fill making weekly content, and I was in a bad place, got in an argument with a friend of mine who I hashed everything out on here, and it became a whole fucking mess, and not about why I started the goddamn channel. So apologies to everybody out there. Apologies to him. Apologies to you guys as fans, because it became some bullshit that it wasn't ever supposed to be. So now here we are, all over again, having fun, doing what this fucking channel was supposed to be. And, you know, I'm not 100% on what I want this channel to be. So because of that, the channel's going to change. And if you guys like the content, let me know. If you don't like it, well, I guess let me know that it fucking sucks. But besides that, I'm here to make shit that I like and keep enjoying doing things that I like. So sometimes you're going to get some skate content. Sometimes you're going to get a little bit of a podcast. Sometimes maybe it'll be a bit of a podcast mixed in with some skate content. Shit. What hasn't gone on since the last time we saw each other? We're out of the studio, obviously, as you guys can see. The fucking people who had the studio that we were in 9 months ago were fucking retards, I think is what you call them. And they fucked us, and they were annoying, and it was just a bunch of bullshit. So now, here we are, back in our own studio, doing our own thing. And I honestly didn't like the studio out of the house. There was so much shit going on that led to me falling out of love with the podcast, us moving into the studio. It didn't feel right. Felt weird to be away from home, which is where I feel a little bit more creative and a little more inspired to do some things. And then it was just, like I said, trying to fucking figure out what the fuck I'm going to get on here and talk about, and like, how much time am I feeling? Oh my god, has it been 2 minutes and 40 seconds? Well, fuck, it should have been 5 minutes. I should have had something better to say. All this shit. And then, you know, doing it and seeing your views not go up, all that shit. But none of that bullshit matters. You know, and then when I saw that the 6-month point was when I started getting worried that I wasn't going to post again. Because after 6 months, it's like, why start posting again? Who gives a fuck? It's been 6 months since you posted. But these are all just things I tell myself in my head. They're not true. And it's hard because I live with this little monkey on my back who is constantly telling me, you know, that it's too late to do things and that I shouldn't do things because it doesn't matter because it's too late. I'm 31 years old, and I started skateboarding last year. I've been skating for a year. It might be some type of midlife crisis or something, but what I believe more than anything is that I found my thing. And oddly enough, skateboarding just happened to be that thing. I maybe even found it while doing the podcast. I believe that I did. And I've always struggled with depression. I've always struggled with feeling like beyond sad, but this just like overwhelming feeling of being a loser all the time, you know? And I didn't do good in school, so I just felt like that was my destiny, was to be a fucking loser, an outcast, a misfit, a fuck up. And it was confirmed to me by the way that I was raised. And I was told that I was a fuck up for every mistake that I made instead of being corrected on those mistakes. Which is completely fine. That's how some people are raised. Not saying that it's good or bad. So, and feeling like that constantly all through your teen years, 18 years old, a couple days after my 18th birthday, I moved out and was on my own. It's still in high school.
Completely frowned upon.
Exactly.
Because it's that 60 resisted going digital. I think it'll be.
Oh my. Bah.
Break it.
Yeah. And went into my senior year, my second semester, had a failing 9 classes in the last 2 semesters. So 3 classes in the previous semester, or 4 classes or something like that, and then 5 in the one before that, or some variation of those. 4 and then 5. I'd failed a lot of classes. My GPA was a 1.8 or something like that, maybe even lower, 1.2 at the time. Obviously, for all that to be going on and then me moving out of my parents, it's easy to say that life at home wasn't good, and maybe some of those things, push towards the depression. But I found sobriety, got happy, and then continue to keep trying to find happiness and trying to find answers in things. And seek the Christianity route, which I had been raised in and pushed away my whole life. And then in my 20s, I tried that and found a lot of good beliefs in that and a lot of good foundation and a lot of things to take. And I still believe that that book is meant more as guidelines than an exact. Anyways, that worked for a short amount of time, and then I got into jiu-jitsu and working out, and that worked for an amount of time. And then fast forward to later, I let life get in the way, quit doing jiu-jitsu, start working again, and then I think, okay, you know what? I'm going to be a sushi chef. I'm a cook now, but what's the ultimate form of being a cook? I'm a fucking grill cook, just like every other beaner. So, what could make me different? What could be the ultimate form of doing that? And maybe that'll make me happy. I watched Jiro Dreams of Sushi on fucking Netflix, and then I was like, that's it. I'm going to do that shit. Went in, gung-ho, completely did it. Became a chef within a year, and a good one, and able to keep people's orders, and was getting recognition from my bosses and everything else. And the most way that they could, there were fucking stingy little slant-eyed motherfuckers who constantly criticize you for the smallest thing. So as much as you can get from them, you got. And it still didn't fucking work. Wasn't making me happy. And that I started doing the podcast. No, I'm sorry. I got a job doing what I love, working with marijuana. And finally, I found something that worked and that I was happy doing. I was happy being a really fucking good bud tender. And so because I was able to do that, I was happy. I was fulfilled, purpose given. And then COVID hit. And I realized that working for somebody else wasn't what I wanted to do, wasn't what I had intended, even though I was able to give people a product and help them find a product that they liked, and I enjoyed what I was doing, and I was able to give back to people, and I was feeling fulfilled in that way. It just wasn't working and wasn't making me happy anymore. So I took a break, and that's where this podcast started. Podcasting was my shit. Podcasting was where I finally felt like I was able to produce something creative and create something for the first time that was authentically me. And it was an art project. And then I started this with a friend, or the thought was to start it with a friend, but I'd always done this goofy type of shit with my best friend. And then I get into an argument with him, and it becomes about that, and then every episode I'm like just not fucking feeling it towards the end. And then I find skateboarding in between that. And skateboarding, every time I go out there, it's this feeling, I wish that I could describe it without sounding corny or without sounding retarded or gay, but what it gives me is a feeling that I can't explain to you. And one day off of the board and getting back onto it, I get that same feeling again every time. I'm so in love with the sport or the activity of skateboarding, whatever you want to call it. And it gives me this purpose and this drive, and I keep coming back to it every single day, and I'm 1% better every day, or 0.5% better every day. And it's barely anything, you know. I'm not any good, but I know with the dedication that I have, and I've discovered through doing all the bullshit things that I've done in my life, all the things that I've just told you that led me here.
Yeah. That was it. It's weird because it was like not sliding 5-6 tries ago. Yeah. I'm gonna Mongo push and everything. food. Not that big, mister.
I'll work for you. Yeah, you look pretty good to me.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. You have a great day.
I feel like old people that like help you in spots are either really
Dang it. Booty, dude. All right, one more go. And then I'll take it. The no-kapai was at least good on that one.
Yeah, the no-kapai was really good.
Kind of sketchy on the backside.
And the dedication I have and the love I have for it, that I found the right thing finally. And that it's not attached to money. It's not attached to getting paid. It's not attached to anybody else. It's solely attached to me. And that's what I've been doing for the past 9 months, is just skating. And obviously working, but work has fluctuated. Work has been more more ever-changing than ever in my entire life. I've had the same amount of jobs in the last 3 months that I've had over the last 5 years, 10 years. So it's a bit weird for me, and I've had to finally detach myself from the thing that I do in order to make money, and attach myself more to this thing that I feel like I'm put on here to do. And I don't know what in skateboarding that I'm meant to do. It could be highly insignificant. but it's something. And I believe that if I keep going to this well and keep treating it like a well of water, and I keep dipping my bucket in every single day, and I give it the time that it deserves, that eventually there will be water there, and eventually I'll find why I keep going there, and who knows what it is. But you know, I'm gonna strive to be as good as anyone else. I'm way behind on the ball, but you know, I do one type of skating, and I've been doing it for a year, and I feel like the skill level I'm at, if I keep pushing myself, and I know that I can, that I'll be where in 10 years, it'll be crazy where I can be. And I'm only 30. I mean, I say that I'm 30, but at 45, I'll still be going hard. And at 50, I'll still have another 5 years easy to be able to do crazy shit. So I'm not, all the fucking time in my head, I tell myself that I ran out of time. I wasted my life in my 20s. I should have found skating when I was 10 when I wanted to, but none of that shit matters. Guess what? I didn't do any of that shit, and instead all the other bullshit that happened in life happened, and maybe all of it happened because I wasn't skating yet. Maybe we're inherently going to be sad the further away we get from the thing that we're supposed to do. And maybe inside of this universe, there is a thing that you're supposed to do, and you just haven't quite found it yet. And you feel lost and you feel scared, and it's okay. But maybe finding that thing is the only thing that's going to make you feel okay. And when you find that thing, it can be scary. And it's not going to pan out. And it might not make you any fucking money. And it might take a lot of your free time. But guess what? Sitting around and watching bullshit on Netflix and watching TV and spending time doing things that don't give you any addition to your mental nutrients or to your spirit or to your brain or whatever the hell you want to call it isn't going to do you any good. And it's only going to hurt you more in the end. The comfort that you think that you're seeking by coming home and, oh man, I fucking worked 8 hours today. I deserve to come home and do nothing. Maybe you do. But maybe you shouldn't give yourself what you deserve. Maybe you should push yourself, because if you give yourself like physically maybe what it is that you deserve, then, or maybe our reward system is fucked up and maybe you don't deserve it. And if you were to just treat whatever it is as if you were working or wanting to get the job for it, right? So if you wanted to get a job in painting, you would spend an hour to 2 hours every day painting, or show the person who is watching paintings, you would want them to see that you have an interest in what they're doing or what they're saying. Or any pursuit, you would want to keep watching and keep seeing how somebody does something, so you would practice it every single day. Practice multiple times a day if you could. And it's got to go the same for something that, for your purpose. So just because you found it doesn't mean now that you have all the answers. No, you need to keep pushing for it and treat it like a job. Get a little bit professional with it. And then just don't do it for solely the money. Just keep putting out what you like. And hopefully somewhere, I just rambled for too long. Got high and fucking rambled for too long. But I want you guys to know that's what I'm trying to do now. I'm just going to try to keep going to that well And things aren't perfect and things aren't easy, but if I quit going to the well and I just sit back and I get complacent and I think that, well, today I don't need to do that because X, Y, or Z, it doesn't wind up doing me any good. I don't wake up the next day feeling good that I didn't do whatever, and instead I sat down and watched TV. I'm only going to feel better, and I'm only going to feel okay when I do the thing, even though it's hard and that it's inconvenient. Struggle is actually equal to the comfort that you're seeking. The comfort that you're seeking isn't ever going to truly be there if you're sitting down in true comfort. You're going to have to put yourself in discomfort to find some true comfort. It's that discipline equals freedom that Jocko always fucking talks about. But I'm not telling you to wake up at 4:30 in the morning. So that was a fucking way too long of a rant. And here's about 7 minutes worth of skating of me and the homie Corey. So thanks for coming back. Podcast will be back, and the channel will be back. Whether you get a podcast, whether you get a fucking video of me and the homie skating, there will be some weekly content posted, and I'm excited to be back. And yeah, I just gotta fucking do it. And I'm putting it out there, and I'm sitting here talking shit, so I'm gonna make sure that I keep doing it. And I'll see you guys next week. Oh, my pussy.